Okay, welcome to another Forex Fully analysis. It is currently Monday, May 2nd, 11:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, about to be Tuesday, May 3rd. But I just wanted to make this quick video on some trade ideas for US30 going into the brand new day, and currently one day away from the FOMC meeting on Wednesday. But I just wanted to give my trade ideas before we go into that, as I do see US30 setting up price going into FOMC. So let's get right into it on trade ideas for equities and kind of the outlook for the rest of the week. Currently, the reason for USD strength and equity and gold weakness is due to the market still pricing in the rate hikes to come, as discussed in the IMF meeting 2 Thursdays ago. So I believe this was on April 22nd, somewhere in that time period. And that's still markets pricing in that the info from that IMF meeting. Again, that was rate hikes, global inflation risks, job and supply chain issues, Ukraine and Russia tensions. Although the Ukraine and Russia tensions have been fairly flat, there hasn't been any new fear, uncertainty, or doubt in that sense. But still, obviously, the main focus right now is the rate hikes and FOMC for Wednesday of this week. But yeah, we did see market still pricing in the info from the IMF meeting. And again, we now do see the markets setting up for the FOMC meeting on Wednesday. And it is, again, the beginning of the new month. So we just have to keep in mind that there could just be lower volatility and volume going into until the FOMC meeting on Wednesday. But again, also I just want to really highlight that it is the beginning of the month. So don't try and force any trades. Don't do any stupid shit. It's the beginning of the month. Just play it cool, calm, and collective. There will be lots of trade opportunities this month as, again, volume and volatility pick up. We are very well into Q2 now, and it's just the beginning of a new month. Also, keep in mind, historically for equities, it is, again, May. Sell in May and go away. I did make a video on this last week. If you do want to go watch that, review that, and obviously do your own research on this stuff, right? If you're a trader, I mean, you should know this already, but, just do further research and always just keep developing yourself, right? I'm just going to keep making videos as consistent as possible, but obviously do your own research. Don't believe everything I see. Go search it yourself, right? And again, big shout out to Capital Hungry, because he's kind of my mentor and who I'm learning from. So obviously go check out his channel. Have everything in my bio and in my channel info, so just check that out. Just a little quick shout out to my mentor there. But yeah, back to the current US30 markup and kind of the sentiment for US30 and equities going into FOMC. We have saw throughout the past few weeks investors and smart money continuously pricing in the Fed interest rate hikes to come. Again, we did see a few weeks back the 25 basis point interest rate hikes, and now on Wednesday we are expecting a 50 basis point interest rate hike during FOMC. And again, this is obviously coming from the Federal Reserve. But yeah. Oh, and also, just to go over again the current market sentiment, which is still the same that I've discussed in the past 2 weeks now. But we can see this current market sentiment of just pricing in the rate hikes, looking to hold further weight until Wednesday of the FOMC meeting. So going into tomorrow as New York Open and everything, again, we still could see some lower volume and volatility, but we will see prices setting up for the FOMC meeting. Again, this is our main focus for this week, so that's just really why I'm highlighting and going over this part. And we have to keep in mind that, again, it is a new business month, and we will see pairs either ranging or setting up for FOMC. So again, we could even see US30 begin ranging between 33,200 and 33K flat until price and chooses a direction from the FOMC meeting. Right, we're waiting on that further information to kind of change market sentiment or are we going to stay bearish, right? That's kind of what we're seeing for equities. In terms of market sentiment, again, USD, US dollar is still very, very bullish, and the equities are currently bearish on the lower time frame fundamentally and technically. But again, we did see this pullback from highs here. So as you can see, it has been pretty much bearish on the, again, this is more so lower time frame. This is the 4 hour, but I mean, I'm not zooming out too much, but we did peak these lows at around 32,300 from, and again, this was here, this original downside to peak, or sorry, to tap these lows at 33,300 to come test these lows. This was from the 25 basis point Fed rate hike, right? And now this coming down here is from the 50 basis points, expected 50 basis points for FOMC, but we're going to see on Wednesday, obviously. But as you can see, it kind of lines up, right? This was printing some highs here, and then we had some lower highs printed here. And now we're coming again right back down. Actually, we did test today during New York session. We came down to test these lows, and we did have an aggressive bounce. But obviously, coming into Wednesday, I can see price coming back down and looking to revisit these lows around 32,500. And if we break below there, obviously, we will see. But I do expect some heavy price reactions around this point, and for US30 and price to come down to test that price point. But yeah, that's kind of the outlook for that, and that's kind of why the market, the equities have been fairly bearish overall for the past month or so, a few weeks at least. And again, this goes back to what I just said. Well expected and priced in now for the Fed's 50 basis point rate hike. So that is expected for Wednesday. We'll see, but if everything goes as to plan, I mean, we could see that, again, aggressive bounce here. I do expect us to come to test these lows, but if all goes to plan, just for a liquidity grab, we're going to come down to 32,500 around that area. If just the 50 basis point goes as planned, then I do see an aggressive bounce and back to the upside, where targets would probably be around 33,500, and we'll kind of have to go based off that price action. But nothing yet in confirmation, right? So we're just going to have to see as we go into FOMC. Obviously, I'm going to make another video tomorrow, and I will be making a video to recap FOMC movement. But yeah, we could just see US30 bounce from the lows with the continued upside from Feds sticking to their plan of the 50 basis points. But we're going to have to see. Overall, higher time frame, US30 is still very bullish, despite the recent pullbacks and corrections. And again, for the past 2 years, due to COVID, the stimulus, asset purchasing, and just the continued bond buying program and everything from the Feds, the continued printing of US dollars, over 8 trillion printed over COVID in the past 2 years. US30 is obviously very bullish. We all know that. And we know how investors in smart money move. They're trying to squeeze out as much profits. They want the greedy bull train to continue, so they're going to do anything they can. Obviously, they're taking profits at key levels, but higher time frame bulls are still very much intact, and that's not going to break higher time frame structure until we break below, I'd say, these current lows that have been held for a year of 32K, even 31K when I really zoom out on the higher time frame. But this week I'm going to be doing a higher time frame analysis on US30, so I'll go further into detail on that. This is just some trade ideas for before FOMC, so for tomorrow and then going into FOMC. But I will be doing a higher time frame analysis as well. Also, so now going into I'll just go into the 1 minute here. Actually, I'll just do the 5 minutes to kind of show this nice dip that we saw today and aggressive bounce back. So obviously we're coming now to test these current lower time frame 5 minute, I guess, highs right now around 33,250, 33,200. We're kind of reacting to that price right now, but during market open, New York open, for US30, and the market in general. For equities, we saw this aggressive dip about 1,000 points to start the week from 33K flat down to 32,500, so 500 point drop. And then we saw in the span of about an hour an aggressive bounce back up to 33K PPL. So that was expected. We did expect some aggressive reactions around this key level at 32,500, and I do again see price coming down to test these levels before FOMC as price sets up for the expected 50 basis points news. So we're just gonna have to monitor price action and kind of what happens in that sense. If we do the key levels, you can see everything kind of tapped right on the dot with the key levels, and literally tapping and wicking just below 32,500, where we came right back above, consolidated for a bit, and absolutely broke out about 500 points above 33K flat, right? So, again, potential for retest and double bottom at 32,500 as price sets up for FOMC. And despite the aggressive bounce today from the lows at 32,500, we can still see a potential to revisit these lows at 32,500. So don't get faked out and think it's just an automatic bullish price action, bullish sentiment going into FOMC. We still have to be very aware of what's happening within the market and the market structure, right? And as of right now, it still is fairly bearish, so we have to be aware of that. And yes, price is currently reacting at the 33,200 key level. I will be personally looking for some sells with price action confirms below 33,200, 33K, and 32,800, with all of these sell targets going to the current lower time frame lows at 32,500 key demand zone, where we know we're going to see some aggressive reactions there, but I do expect price to kind of engulf this aggressive bounce to the upside, and we could probably see something as such where, if we break below 33K, come right back down, maybe test 33.8, and we should set up for FOMC. I don't know if we're going to test 32,500 on the dot before FOMC, but obviously we'll monitor that, and I will give updates tomorrow morning after New York Open, during the afternoon of New York session there. But yeah, that was all for my trade ideas today. We are looking for mainly sells. Come New York session, if the bias switches for the intraday bias, obviously I will update that. But as of right now, it is a bearish market sentiment, lower time frame bearish structure, and a bearish bias as the sells have been announced. And the targets are 32,500, but we're going to just have to see, based off these psychological price levels and key demand zones, the reactions. And again, I will be doing an update tomorrow during New York session. Like, comment, subscribe. All feedback is very appreciated. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow.